So, sealed only has returned for me or this channel, seeing as that tournament play is kind of returning back just slowly here, so I figured let's go with a deck that will be both simple to make and easy enough to accomplish with. And I've already joked about it enough of being no idea what it may be, but I think it's time the joke ended. So, yes, we're going with Dinosaurs, primarily because this structure deck got reprinted recently, and one of the deck ideas for the Shadows sealed only was going to be Dino Shadows, but the original structure decks were still out, and they were going for like £30 a pop. I was not paying that much for these structure decks, but they got reprinted recently, and seeing as that lockdown kinda killed my love for the Shadow sealed only, we're having a soft reset with this. That means that anything and everything that we pulled in the Shadow sealed only, except for the Shadow structure decks, is going to be transferred over into this. And yes, that includes some of these hand traps and dual devastator stuff that I have pulled. If you have a problem with that, this is my sealed only, not yours. So, that being said, we're going to get started with these, and there's a bit of a system that I want to introduce with this one. I'm going to do something in this sealed only which is going to be kind of unique to this one, but we'll have a unique taste. I'm going to have a kill streak system similar to res cards, but completely different. It will not increase the value of the next budget. I'm still going to be going by £40 a week, but I might drop it down to £30 a week, just depends on how things go for me at the moment. But what I'm going to be doing is that for every win I get, I accumulate 3 points. And for every win I will perceivedly get, until I lose, those 3 points will carry over as £3. So basically, if I gain enough victories through this, in the next episode, I'm allowed to get one card if I lose a streak, just one, but the card has to be within that budget. So let's say I win 5 matches and I want to get Jewel Beast Archosaur. Archosaur would be way too much, so I get Giant Rex instead. Even though it may be like around about a $5 right now, it still eliminates the entire budget that I've used up from the kill streak, primarily because I used that kill streak price to pay for Giant Rex to come into this deck. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, oh well, I don't care. So the only other cards that are going to be appearing in this from the other sealed only videos I've been doing through the lockdown are the actual ones that I have opened up. That includes Dual Overload and Secret Slayers, not Secret Slayers. The one that has the Eldritch and Emancipator stuff in it. It'll come back to me eventually. Anyways, what's in this structure deck, you may be wondering? Well, let's have a look. Of course, we get this awesome mat as per usual. And now let's actually get on with the actual cards. Just need to find the seam now. Ah! Okay, so Titanoodon. This card is not the best, but it can be used to bring out Pancratops during the end phase, so can't argue with that. There's a big boy himself, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This big bastard is going to be our win condition for so many games. And Solean Oviraptor, good to see him as well. Lost World, our generic field spell. This might be our current win condition at the moment due to how ludicrous it can be. Megalo Smasher X. You know what, if we were actually doing a restart, we could have actually used him and some of the other guys in here, but we get 2 of them into a Sabersaurus, Superconductor Tyranno, Ultimate Tyranno, Super Ancient Dino Beast. It's a real shame that this guy can't be used more now anymore because he has such a good effect. This would be good for a meme, and so would this guy be. Thank you, dog. Black Brachios, Miracle Egg, the Raptor with no feathers, the most broken card in the deck, the second most broken card in the deck, this guy. I actually tested this guy out in a build of this when it first dropped. It didn't do anything, but it was good enough to get my opponents thinking. I don't know what this does, and I don't really know why it's in here. It might be because it looks like a dinosaur, but nah. Because of Dino Rabbit, the best searcher of the deck. Wrong pill. We got our generic removal. Awesome. I don't think we need this. I know why this is in here, but we're not using that. We're not using this. Not using this. Another terraforming. Awesome. Never using. You know what? Let's try and pull this off. No. 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 We got the solemns, so we don't need this. No. And we need these. And these. I was recording this before my locals and I already had a deck set, but the deck was absolutely bloody dreadful. So dreadful to the point that it wouldn't even be considered dinosaurs due to have our hands opened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the deck profile in the next video rather than this one, primarily because of the factor that, like I said, I did this before my locals, I'm editing this right now, so let's just get on with the actual matches. Game 1 was up against Red Eyes. I started off my turn with the hand being as dismal as per usual. This is build 2, so I decided to T-set. He activates Red Eyes Insight to grab Red Eyes Fusion, activates it, I saw the Dark Magician being dropped along with a Red Eyes and I know what's coming right here, so we're moving into Game 2. Game 2 was a little bit interesting. He went first and he activated Foolish Burial to dump Red Eyes Wyvern, but he didn't have any follow-ups afterwards. On my turn I drew and I had Lost World, Rescue Rabbit, and I went into 2 Megalo Smasher X's. After summoning the token, I attacked into the token with one of the Megalo Smashers, protecting it to summon out Soul Even Oviraptor from the deck. Then afterwards, I proceeded to add off of Soul Eaten Oviraptor, attack once again with Megalo Smasher, and in main phase 2, since I didn't want those 2 Megalo Smashers going away, I simply made the Abyss Dweller and passed it on to him. To which afterwards he normal summoned Black Metal Dragon and banished it off for Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon. I have activated Abyss Dweller at this point, but he managed to clear over my Abyss Dweller. Afterwards in main phase 2 he forgotten to summon out another Red Ice from his Red Ice Darkness Metal. Oh well, we all forget those things sometimes, but when my turn came round the corner, let's just say a second Soul Eating Oviraptor more than made up for the absolutely absurdity that I was going to punch through. Game 3 ended in 2 turns, but not the way that you think. He dropped a Red Eyes Fusion and managed to summon Dragoon of Red Eyes. At this point I was legitimately thinking to myself, oh dear lord, how am I going to get around this? I had what would have been a big brain moment if it wasn't for my dumbass originally forgetting that Called by the Grave negates the original effects. So when he activated Red Eyes Dragoon to negate one of my miscellaneous Sauruses, I used Called by the Grave on the Red Eyes Black Dragon, thinking to myself, yes, I'm in the green! No, I was not. So, I just wasted a Call by the Grave for nothing. But that being said though, I did not want to give up. I look at my options, I look at my hands, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. I looked at my extra deck from all the past experiences, and I have an out. All that matters was getting into the outs. The 2 outs were of course Boral Sword and Boral Load. Now of course at this point I'm still wary on the rulings behind Boral Sword, but I do know that Boral Load's steal effect is a game mechanic, something that Red Eyes of Dark Dragoon cannot protect himself from. So I began my turn with the Soul Eaten Oviraptor, and I climbed, and climbed, and climbed, and climbed, until I got the Boral Load on the field, along with the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. And after attacking with Boral Load onto Dragoon, I fiefed it up with Boral Load, and I proceeded to just simply eviscerate him with my Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and his own Red Eyes of Dark Dragoon. My god! That was possibly one of the most stress-inducing games I've had so far. And it's all because of a singular Dragoon. The other games weren't as good though. The next round was up against, believe it or not, Dogmatica Buster Blader. Yeah, I didn't even know that could work, but then I thought about it again. It did work. So after dropping the Veiler on him on the first turn, I realized that my hand was not the best suited for fighting him in this round. At least this game in particular. His board was just getting way too out of control for me to keep up with, and drawing nothing but Megalo Smashers was not helping me either. The singular Pankratops just could not help, so in order for me to have a fighting chance, we had to go into Game 2. So we scooped it up. Game 2, the hand opening was just as similar as the first one, so I activated Fossil Dig to get Soul Eaten Oviraptor, added Misk off of Soul Eaten Oviraptor, and it was his turn. He special summoned Atara, and then this happened.
Normal effect? I swear to God. Why? Baylor and me, you bitch. I can't help it.
As much as I wished that effect Veiler managed to stop his turn, it did not. You'd be a complete idiot if you thought it would stop him there and then. Because he links up into the Buster Dragon Link monster, manages to get the other Buster Blader out, attacks into my Soul Eaten Oviraptor and swallows it up.
And of course the writing is on the wall from this point out, primarily because of one simple factor. As soon as my turn comes, I summoned Sully and Oviraptor, and I did my usual shebang again. And I summoned out Pankratops, used Pankratops after destroying one of his monsters to hopefully see if I can get rid of a Buster Blader. It did not. So he sucked up my other Sully and Oviraptor from the Buster Blader, but when I had the Sully and Oviraptor again, along with Gillosaurus and some other monsters, by going into Underclock Taker, let's just say that the side-decked Super Poly was good enough to bring out Starving Venom, and for me to have UCT on board. This board was way too potent for it in order for him to keep up, so he moved into Game 3. Game 3, the hands were fair on both sides, however it was a thinking man's game at this point, so we had to think of our ways through this as best as we possibly can. So, I began thinking.
This mustn't register on an emotional level. First, distract target. Then block his blind jab. Counter with cross to left cheek. Discombobulate. Dazed, will attempt wild haymaker. Employ elbow block. And body shot. Block feral left. Weaken right jaw. Now fracture. Break cracked ribs. Traumatize solar plexus. Dislocate jaw entirely. Heel kick to diaphragm. In summary, ears ringing, jaw fractured, 3 ribs cracked, 4 broken, diaphragm hemorrhaging. Physical recovery 6 weeks. Full psychological recovery 6 months.
If only it did ended like that. The final match I recorded, one of my mates wanted to have a mirror match with me, and this one is a really good one for me to do. If possible, I might get more games against him just to see how my deck progresses against his full-powered dinosaurs. But to put things straight, my play was Fossil Dig, Sully and Oviraptor, add off of the Oviraptor, and pass. When you have 3 structure decks, you can only do so much. His turn, oh dear, Game 2. I don't know why on earth Game 2 took as long as it did, but honestly it was one of the most epic and brutalizing dinosaur matchups I have ever had in my entire life. You wanna know the reason why? Look at this shit! This is what the match has primarily consisted of, our Tyrannos fighting back and forth and... Oh hello old face! Needless to say though, that was nowhere near enough. I don't know how to put this match into words. It was so long and it was so grueling that it just completely caught us both by surprise on how, well, long it took. Oh, so that's the first episode of the Sealed Only for the time being, and my god, it feels so good to be playing a game almost like a tournament once more. It was more or less a casual play thing that I was doing there, but oh well. So we only got 1 win out of that entire day, meaning that I accumulated 3 points. So I'll see which dinosaurs will be within the £3 limit and add them into the deck if I so wish be. But if not, oh well, I'll just try and figure out another way of how to find out what to put into the deck. And before anyone asks, no, I'm not buying the cards. I already got a whole bunch of dinosaur stuff in my collection, so I'm going to be adding them to the deck rather than buying them online and then putting them in. Look, it'll make a whole lot more sense when you just see it being played out. Anyways, for next week though, or next time I should say, because I'm not sure when I'm going to be back down, I want to start thinking of what would be a win condition for the deck. There's so many win conditions out there that we could play by, but I think one of the biggest win conditions that might be doable at the moment is possibly the most simplest one.